Yo, we live on location. Las Vegas, Nevada, 2023 NBA Summer League, man. We are here at the beautiful XS Nightclub. We appreciate the hospitality here at the beautiful Encore at Wynn. We got the views and vibes. Y'all might hear some of the views and vibes because they got the pool side right there cracking. People out there having a time, but we in here doing business, man. We got a very special guest, man. The blackest one here with me. This is a Midwest swing, but we got family in the building. This East Saint, I'm Chi-Town. We got Racine in the building, CB, Caron Butler, man. Hey, listen, right now, head coach of the Summer League for the Miami Heat, soon to be head coach in the league. You know, we gonna keep that low, though, but we have to have a time, man. We got family. Y'all sit back and relax.
We go way, way back. A lot of folks don't know our history, but we appreciate you being on the show, bro, man, and we happy to have you on here, Joe.
Hey, thanks for having me. What took so damn long? That's the real shit. What took so long?
When you first got to the league, who was the first person to bust your ass?
Damn, who was the first person to get me? So I got my shit off first, mash burn, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay, monster mash.
Going at them, working them, preseason. It ain't real yet. So I'm like, yo, these dudes not as nice as I thought they were.
Yeah.
You know, he relaxed. He ain't even went into the, overdrive yet. So first game out the gate, I get a chance to match up with him again. And everything just looked different. Shit was real blurry out there.
Mask.
Yeah, like I'm telling you, his back to the basket game, 17 on in. He knew where the rim was at all time. He knew exactly how to get to his spots. Some of the things that I try to teach the players now, but he was just automatic. Give me the shoulder, bump me, airspace. I understand like the angles and the dynamics of that when I was that young, because you just a raw
athletic
type.
or nothing.
No, just airspace.
He used to get me. I'm talking about.
Yeah, that was one of his nemesis.
He was a problem for me.
Physicality, that boy was too strong.
I know he couldn't beat me, and I can get back to him. I can meet him at the rim. I knew. But it was some way, somehow, he was getting this shit off, and he was scoring every time. That shit was pissing me off.
Nobody ever talk about him, though. Monster Mash. Nobody ever. When I hear these conversations,
when I came in, it was like, yeah, he's serious.
When you talk to them ones that really got the bop against him, though, we didn't have a cut. And he one of them first, like, yo, like, Mash was a problem.
Facts. It was silent.
Yeah.
He didn't talk. Just went to work on your ass, looked at you. Like after he put on that demonstration, he looked at you like you saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got that work and talk trash or nothing. I used to hate that man. He used to kill me. Our history. The first time I met you was when I seen you in Purdue at this tournament. I just started playing AAU ball.
Speech Jam.
Yeah, I just started playing AAU ball, and I'm playing with the Illinois Warriors.
Yep.
This is my first one. I'm playing under. I'm playing above where I was at, but I'm playing like 16U. It was 16U because QNet was 17U, so it was 16U. So I was playing 16U in there, and we played against y'all, and y'all kicked our ass. And I remember y'all, you was like, okay. We started shaking hands and stuff before the game, and man, y'all got out there and y'all kicked our ass. And ever since then, I was so pissed that we lost to y'all. I remembered you after that. So every time I had a tournament after that, because most of all the tournaments that we was in
everything,
right?
We would see y'all. So I know you now.
Yeah.
And I'm looking for y'all like, we gonna face them Wisconsin boys, them Racine boys.
Mm-hmm.
We gonna face them some way, somehow. Butler used to be like, we gonna face Caron now. But the first time I met you was when in Purdue, and we played against her. What you remember about the first time you met me in that game in AAU and how it started?
Yeah, look, I always knew this. My coach, Watt Booker, and Jamil Aguari, my Muslim brother, my mentor, he had came to me. He was like, look, these boys out of Chicago, they pumping them out. So you had Q Rich, you had Maggette, you had yourself, and he was just like, everywhere we go, we got to try to line up with these dudes to get you on the circuit, because these motherfuckers going.
Yeah.
Like, they're going to the league. They're not like just high school names, replicable dudes. Like, these dudes going to the league.
Yeah.
So in order to get on that circuit, you gotta get that bump versus them. Mm-hmm. So the first thing I saw was identified was just you being a KG type, You came with a smooth demeanor, but you was like yanking mugs, the right to left cross, and just athletic, had the whole package. And I think Cummings was with y'all too, right?
Yeah,
TJ,
yeah.
No, the first year, no, that was our 17 year. That's when we was finna be seniors.
Yeah.
That's when Cummins was with me. That early year when we seen y'all, I had Jerence now. I
Oh,
was
yeah,
playing
he
with
had taps. Jerence Howard.
Jerence Howard
Jerence.
them and all this stuff. So I ain't have them yet. That was the first year. Cause we played against each other 2 summers,
Back to back.
probably 15 tournaments, maybe 20 tournaments. we
D-Wade
seen
was on
y'all.
that team.
I know
the
he used to
17
have a knee
team.
brace, the little black
Yeah.
Yeah,
brace on his
D-Wade
leg.
was on that when they
Yeah.
got to 17.
Yeah,
he
when
was
we-
on that team with TJ now.
D-Wade was on our
Yeah.
team and so forth on. But I remember you was one of the ones. You wasn't ranked high,
I wasn't ranked at all.
you know what I'm saying? But you was one of the ones because y'all had a small school, y'all had a small town team.
Yep.
But y'all was at all the Nike tournaments.
Made that trip.
And they
Car
was popping
washes,
everybody.
everything.
Like, but the thing is though, Q, they was popping folks. Like they might not win the tournament, but
That's what it is.
they popping folks that everybody expecting to go up there. Like they popped us in
Yeah.
Purdue.
But how we was assembled, we took this is the first time it happened because you know how everybody have their grassroots programs and
Yeah.
stuff. But in bigger cities is a larger talent base. But our small group, 6 mile radius, north, south, east, west, Racine, we said for the first time, let's get all these dudes on one hub.
Mm-hmm.
The suburbs, everything. Like, let's get on one team. And that's how the Brace Center was formed. Jamil had that vision where, look, we could scrap up this money. We're going to have taco plates. We're going to do dinners. We're going to do everything, car wash.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have no sponsor. Didn't have nobody backing us.
Mm-hmm.
But we wanted to get on that platform and play against y'all.
Yeah. Well, tell us how that started. How you got to playing basketball. Because like I said, you wasn't ranked, but out of everybody that I seen, I always remembered you. You was a go-getter. a go-getter. So I know, like, I always tested my mic when I seen you. And I know it was going to be a matchup.
was
you know
going
what I'm
down.
saying, when I see you. Even though you wasn't the rank guy.
Yeah.
But everybody else, when I used to see in the position of you, I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm finna just
Run it through 'em.
This easy.
Yeah, we used to sit around and watch y'all games too. Like I was like, damn, he putting on the demonstration out there,
Yeah, I
going to
wasn't
work
playing.
on everybody.
I-
And I was just like, I want that rec. Like I need to be in these games. I need to be where John Thompson's on the sideline watching
Yeah.
me, Gene Katie, and everybody just peeping game, watching us go head to head.
Yeah.
But the way that I got on the Brace Center squad was the brother by the name of Jamil Aguirre, who I mentioned. He was like one of the huge advocates in the community. South side of Racine, Midtown of Racine is where the community center was at. And I wasn't even dealing with basketball. Like I was running in the blocks, in the streets, doing everything under the sun. And once I got, caught up for like the 8th, 9th time, I ended up getting a 2-year sentence. So I had to go to juvie, I had to go to Wells. I did 18 months. When I got out with restrictions. I was on the bracelet, and I don't know if you remember this, but when I played in that game, I had a bracelet on.
You had the ankle bracelet on. I remember that.
So I opened my mind up to the idea of the only way I can get out this city is if I play this game of basketball. Now nobody made it out in the recent past or anything. The closest thing we had was Nick Van Exel that was roughly 10, 15 miles away from Kenosha.
Yeah.
So that's what we can identify with. But Jamil gave me a blueprint. He said, look, you do this, I'm telling you, the worst case scenario, I'm gonna get a bag from a college. That's how he was talking to me. He was like, you're gonna get a bag from a college, they're gonna take care of us, and then you're gonna get a free education.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you pick up a trade, you ain't never gotta like worry about all this street stuff no more.
Yeah.
And that's how I processed it. So that's how I got on the Brace Center basketball team.
Who put the ball in your hand? Who gave you the game? Like who you was looking at?
My Uncle Carlos, he was like one of the baddest dudes out our city. Still till this day when you talk about basketball in our city, they like,
You talk about him.
Los was cold.
Yeah.
But he got caught up in the streets. But he gave me that piv. and we was going at it 1-on-1 all the time. Like he gave me all that wire hanger on the door, all that shit. Yeah,
Straight up.
At what point when you was like, once you started to take it serious, did you start to see like shit, I'm all right at this? Like, you know what I'm saying?
not until I started playing against dudes like this. Because
you got MVP
So that was-
at the
that was-
speech. You
the
got
speech
MVP.
jam, that was my coming out party.
That was your first time playing
Like
too?
a big tournament, because everything else was local.
Yeah.
It was like community
Like in the
center,
city,
rec
yeah,
league,
yeah.
all that stuff. But then he was like, "Hey, we about to put this money together."
Because that was my first time going out town playing
That was
too.
the first time. We took a van up, van stopped,
15
overheated.
passes. Listen, man, these young boys don't
They
know.
don't understand,
We
dog.
used to
Yeah.
be 15, 16 deep in the 15 pounds. I'm talking about people laying on the door with the bags on the door. Then, boy, you sleeping for hours in the you don't
Right
leave the
down
gym.
the highway.
You don't
We ain't
leave the
stopping.
gym. You in
Yeah.
the gym laying on the bleachers over here on top of your bags and everything. Like, bro, man, they don't know nothing
Games
about
back to back to back. No
Straight
load
up.
management.
That's crazy. So that's your first term.
That was my
first
first coming
tournament
out
playing
party,
AAU.
and I wasn't supposed to be there. My parole officer said that I can play in the league, thinking that it was right there in Wisconsin, but
Yeah.
I was not given permission to go out of state.
Yeah. You was
Yeah.
looking raw and
And-
uncut,
and
boy.
I-
but
and
that
I
was,
got
that
there
was,
and I
you
went to
had
work.
Game.
Clearly after that, like the colleges exploded coming to, you know what I'm saying, trying to come recruit you out of everywhere.
See, that's the crazy. You would think that, right?
Or was some of them like afraid?
Everybody still was
Because of
like,
the bracelet.
It's too much. It's too much
So you won
baggage.
MVP of that tournament?
MVP.
I was pissed about that tournament, bro. I was pissed about that tournament because I was playing in pro-ams and winning pro-ams and all that. So this was like my age group type ball. So when we didn't win the tournament and all that stuff, like I'm going back home
You
with a
didn't
whole
play up
mindset.
with me in that tournament.
That's the tournament I didn't play up with.
That's
y'all.
when I hit 64. When
Yeah.
that's the most point I ever scored in the game.
64?
Ever in my life.
Who y'all
like,
playing?
I forget who we was playing with, but all my partners had stayed home and went to junior prom.
So you start getting all this.
Man, I got every shot
Hey.
in the book. I was out there with Darius and young
Yeah.
boys. They was like, I'm like, yo, it's my shit today. Like, don't play with
It's
me up
going
in here.
down.
Like, man,
Yeah.
look, I'm letting that thing go. I think it was one of the speech teams too. I think so. You know, they used to keep like 3-4
Yeah,
teams
they
in
keep
the
like
tournament.
3-4 teams.
Man,
Yeah.
play went
That's
crazy.
crazy.
I could have had like I got tired.
So how was you comprehending, like, you know, like you didn't supposed to play in this tournament, like, your parole officer, you go to this tournament and, cause I know how I looked at speed. This was like a whole nother world. Like I'm seeing
Right.
college coaches that I'm seeing on ESPN and all that stuff, all walking through here and all that stuff, and the scenery was just different. So I know how I felt when I left there, but how you felt, like you want MVP of it and you got an ankle monitor on.
I could pivot back to that moment. So I walk in there and Jamil pumped me with so much lead and venom. I was just like, everybody in here got me fucked up. That was my mentality. I locked in to that. Like, they got me fucked up. Or they think this dude better than me. They think, like, that's how I was just processing. I was even looking at my teammates crazy. I was like, oh, you think these motherfuckers better than me?
Yeah.
They like, no, shit, we about to give you the rock. Like, you about to let you rock out. And that's how I left out of there. And still with the conversations, when I left after winning the MVP, I didn't feel like I got the praise that I was supposed to get.
Mm-hmm.
And because I was there and it was in our paper, local paper, I had to do 2 days. My parole officer found out, locked me up for 2 days, got back out.
Yeah.
I still didn't feel like I got the praise that I was supposed to. So, like, if you would have got the MVP of that,
Yeah.
you probably would have been on another Sports Illustrated
I was fresh.
poster or something.
No.
I would say you fresh, but like you was clean. Like you had no heavy baggage
I had no
behind you.
baggage with me.
And
yeah.
back
And I felt
then,
that.
all of that meant way more than it does now.
Now it's like, hey, we understand. We'll work with you. Your talent outweighs your problems, so we'll make it work. But that's what I felt leaving there.
So what made you stick with it? Like, what made you stick with, like, man, you know what? I'm finna hoop and just walk this straight path and just focus on me.
The realest shit I could tell you, and this is raw and uncut. I was like, okay, this happened in Indiana for a reason. I saw this side of it, but I really do love being on the block. I love hustling. It's a feeling that you get, like, people just don't understand. Like, when you bust a move and you got away with something. That's how I felt at that time, like, young-minded. But then my homeboy, Dre King, had got killed. He was literally just at my house. We getting our hair cut on Bluff. He walks up the street. He get killed. And I had to process that shit. And I was like, damn, like, bro, it's just right here. He was just with me. And this is at the time where I'm at a fork in the road about what the fuck I'm going to do going forward.
Right.
And I had to process it. And I said, well, I know what's going to happen if I stay in this lane. Either I'm going to lose my life, be in jail for the rest of my life by taking somebody's life, or I'm going to do this basketball thing and all type of shit can happen, because I know I could hold my weight and I could carry it. And I just pursued it. And the OGs that I have in my circle, or had in my circle at the time, they was all about, dog, don't do what I did. The OGs now are a little different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But these brothers was, don't you come, like, and if we see you out here, we applying pressure.
Yeah.
Like, we don't want you out here.
Right.
Go do that basketball thing. You always come back to this shit.
Yeah.
And that's what did it for me.
The last tournament we played with each other, because every time, like I say, I used to have a hit list out for you.
Was it LA?
No, it was San Diego.
Yeah,
We
California.
played against Yao
Yeah.
Ming and was in that tournament
Sure
and stuff
was.
too. That was the last tournament I played against you. We never stayed in the same hotel, never got a chance to be around each other, never nothing. And we finally, in San Diego, we stay in the same hotel and we sitting in the lobby and we straight talk.
Kicking it.
And that's when you found out. You was like, man, I always thought you was from Chicago. And I was
Yep,
like,
that's
nah, I'm
St.
from
Louis.
East St.
Yeah.
Louis. And then we talked for like 2 hours.
Just vibing.
But we went through wars together every AAU summer. And then I finally got a chance to talk to you. That's why I knew like our bond and how much we played with each other or played against each other.
Yeah.
Well, we never played with each other, but we always played against each
But
other.
it was like we was
It was
motivating
mutual
each other.
respect.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and we
it
was
was a mutual
motivating each other
respect.
from afar, like boom, boom. And even when you had got drafted, and I never forget, Jamil had hit me. I saw you walk across stage, do your thing, and I was like, damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Real.
Brothers, yeah, like this shit, like, cause I got to know you.
Cause we seen each
So-
other so much.
I know it's real.
I just seen and touched
Me and him,
felt
And we
like
just
I
go
know
through
this.
one.
Yeah, so I'm
Each
like,
other.
okay, I'm about to go to
Yeah.
the league.
Yeah.
But like you made that like even more so.
chased me.
Yeah. I was like, okay, I got
Yeah.
you. And then you not only did you go to the league right out the gate, you was ready for that wreck.
Yeah.
You know, y'all just doing the whole
Doing
thing,
that,
like
yeah.
throwing it up. I was just like, damn, they repping.
Yeah.
At what point did it get to the point to where like them schools did come around and start warming up and all of that, you know, all of the little extra weight and stuff dissipated and they started to show you that respect?
So it was a crazy ass man. I got kicked out. So I got to tell you, I got kicked out of my high school district after all the success started happening. And I
got
started.
kicked out the district?
Like
I
not
got
the school,
kicked out the whole.
district.
I couldn't go to school in
That's
the whole district. They were just like, because I came back from Indiana with a little name locally, and I just wrecked shop. So I only played 1 year high school ball in Racine.
Yeah.
Killed it, averaging like 30.
Yeah.
So they was like, he done.
Yeah.
He not gonna be doing this to our dudes and to our kids out here, because it was just dominant. So they just said you can't go to school here no more.
So wait, it wasn't no incident. They just
It
stopped
wasn't
you
an
from
incident.
school
It was
'cause
just like
you
your
killing.
eligibility ran out. I was like, but I played 1 year. I was locked up the other 2 years.
Yeah.
And they just,
I
yeah,
remember.
we did a school board meeting. They like, nah, we not. A couple people protest for me. They rocked out, but it didn't happen.
That's
So
crazy.
George Raveling had
GOAT.
the GOAT. He reached out to Jamil at the Bracelet and said, hey, if he go to this prep school, it'll be so good for his image, because this is a hard-nosed, militant coach, Max Good.
Yeah.
If he go with him and he can get through that fire, like, everybody's going to
I
want him.
remember when you signed to the prep school.
And I was like, well, shit, it ain't worse than prison. I
Yeah.
can do 2 years at a prep school. I just got to
Yeah.
get isolated, lock in. And I went there. Me and DeMar Johnson linked up. He was the #1 player in the country at the time. I looked at it like, you come see him, you got to see me.
Yeah.
And that's when it went up. It was up from there.
Was that like a culture shock though for you leaving Racine and your family stuff like that going at that early of an age?
It was, like I said, I did the 2 years incarcerated.
Oh yeah, that's different too though. You already left the crib.
So I was like, at least I'm mobile still. I can get out. I could call. We had to call the cards. Let's call it home. Like I was straight. I was like, all right, I'm gonna make it work. And shit, it was up.
When you start getting to colleges and you start seeing the names, could you believe that you had an opportunity to go to some of the names? Because like UConn, you went to UConn.
Yeah.
You part of the UConn history. Like
Don't
from
get
where
them
you
started.
came from.
Don't get them started.
Whatever you think you can't, UConn. He
know
knew that
many
was
times
coming.
I had to
He
hear
knew that
this
was coming.
Every day he went into work, he found a UConn player that did something. He found a reason to say that little phrase right there.
But because I was happy for you, because like I say, I knew everything that you did because I played against you.
Yeah.
All through high school. I felt like even though we didn't play it during school time, I felt like I played against you all through high school. So I always followed you. But you went to UConn after coming off of what you done went through, or so forth. It could have been anybody else who could have got you.
Yeah. It could have easily been St. John's.
Ooh, you finna go St. John?
I thought about
St.
it.
John.
Yeah, I thought about it because I was trying to pair myself with a guard.
Omar
Cook.
So it was Omar Cook, it was Andre Baird, and it was Talik Brown.
That was my favorite.
So I said, I
chose Omar.
I said, I'm going with one of them.
Right.
That's how I was looking at
Omar
it.
passed more than me. That's why I chose him.
And that's where I wanted to go too.
Yeah.
But then I was like, at the time, this is my dog. I can't hate to say it. But I was like, damn, Talik can't shoot. So he probably gonna just want to get off of it anyway.
Yeah.
So let me just go where Talik, and once he chose UConn, we kind of did it together. We were like, all right, we're gonna pair up. We're gonna go turn that out.
Man, that would be I didn't know you wanted to go to St. John.
Yeah, Mike
that would've
Jarvis.
been crazy.
Mike Jarvis,
He loved Mike Jarvis.
I love Mike. That's why I chose St. John. That's why I committed early.
And you probably, I
committed
can't
in
remember
November.
roughly, but you probably was the reason why St. John's is in my head.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just because it probably is out there that you did that. So maybe that just planted that seed.
Yeah, I committed early because Omar wanted to go to North Carolina, and North Carolina chose Adam Boone. Remember Adam Boone from Minnesota?
I remember
Chose Adam Boone over Omar. I was like, oh,
Damn.
That wasn't. I like Adam Boone, but he wasn't Omar.
Yeah, Omar was different.
And
King of New York.
when he chose St. John, Thaddeus, I mean, like, man, I just chose them. I went to their Midnight Madness, and I was gone after
Rest was
that.
history.
Did you know, like, before the season started, like, looking around after playing some pickup and rec or whatever, like, just hooping with the guys, you looking around like,
I'm be in it.
It's about to go down. Because you led, as a freshman, you led them in scoring and rebounding.
Yeah.
You had to have saw some of that beforehand, like, yeah, y'all can't do nothing
You
with
had
me.
to get it with you. Like, they weren't built like you on that squad. So, like,
It's crazy y'all say that because the open runs, right? We come
Pickup
with the
game.
program and Edmund Saunders, Suleiman, Aju Dang, Scott Hazelton was All-American.
mm-hmm.
So, I'm talking. What's up? Like, what position you play? What? Like, shit. Coach said I'm starting. I was like, damn, that's crazy because I know I'm starting. Like, in my head, I'm like,
Somebody
I'm
out.
like-
Somebody out.
so I never really went like that in the summer because I was filling everybody out, gauging their tendencies, watching what they did, and when it came showtime, where
Coaches
training
in there,
camp and
coach can
everybody-
come in here and all that stuff and be in there and it's
it was Operation Shutdown.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like, I'm gonna make y'all feel this energy, and dudes was just looking like, damn, like this his team, like not this his position. He's a starter. No, this is his whole shit. This is his team.
Quickly.
Yeah, quick. Like after day one, it was just,
Did you feel more mature than everybody?
I did. You got to think. I already had a kid,
Yeah.
so
I know.
my
That's what
life
I'm saying.
experiences is just different. So I wasn't coming there. It was a business trip for me. I wasn't coming to UConn to go to parties and kick it and fraternize and see what
Yeah.
your favorite color was. I came on business.
Yeah.
It was a business trip. I was in and out.
Yeah.
I love the memories, but this was the step I had to take. I had to dominate this platform to go to the NBA.
Yeah. You in the Big East. Like, you in one of the best conferences ever known to man that you playing there. It's dogs all the way through y'all conference. And how did you testing your game against the Big East, against the other powerhouses?
The physicality of the game was perfect.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, it was hard. It had pace, and it was slow at the same time. But the reason I specifically wanted to go to UConn is because the wheel sets and the action for the perimeters, particularly the forwards, Richard Hamilton, Ray Allen, Donnell Marshall, and then myself. It was perfect, and the sets only got tweaked. They didn't change. And with organizations like UConn, you know, they don't rebuild, they just reload, so you're going to have pieces. And I was just like, man, this shit is already set for me. All I got to do is stay healthy. If I stay healthy and I stay in the right mind space, it's over.
When you go out and lead the team and scoring and rebounding, you know what I'm saying, it becomes your team. As a freshman, was there some temptation to get up out of there? Was there any whispers, or did you know what I'm saying, what was that like in your mind after your freshman season? Was the NBA calling? Was agents? I know how it be, agents come calling, trying to get at you. How was that for you?
That's a great question. I got it after my first year, so it was like 2 games left in the season. We didn't finish strong, but I had great numbers, and somebody had reached out to me and they was like, you probably should leave.
It's always somebody gonna say something.
And I was like, I don't even know how that process even works. But I know I'm leaving at some point. I just don't know how the process starts. So I asked Coach for a meeting, and he said, I knew you wasn't want to talk at some point, but I'm gonna tell you, I got your best interest. I know when it's time for you to leave. This is somebody who I trust, like, pure intentions, Coach Calhoun. When it's time, trust me. When it was time for Ray, I told him he had to leave. When it's time for Rip, Chip, did everything he had to do, you got to leave. Your value high. He said, your value, where you're at, late first rounder right now. If you listen to me, you get your weight down, you work on this, you work on your mid-range, 17 on end, face-up game, back to the basket. Caron, you will be a lottery pick. And I had to process that. He said, do you want some or you want some generational money? Yeah. And that was like the game changer for me. So I knew I had a specific call to action going into that offseason. I played with the Olympic team. I did this, I did that, checked all those boxes, and I came back.
You got a gold medal.
Ready.
You ain't played with the Olympic team.
Yeah.
You got a gold medal, my boy.
I was ready.
You a gold medal Olympian.
Salute.
You say that. Like,
how was that too? Because, like, the USA team asked you to come try out for the team or play on the team.
I didn't even process that till I got older.
Yeah, like, literally, you don't understand it, like, cause we looked at it like it's the dream team is the only Olympian. Like, no. When you go as a 17, 18, 19, that's just yes. And like when I like, just like you said, I won that same gold medal. It wasn't even nothing. We ain't tripped. We was like, all right, let's get to the crib.
Yeah, we're better than them.
We came over here kick ass.
But like that's like you say, when you get older, talk about that. Like now realizing, looking back, you know what I'm saying? Like, damn, like, nah, bro, like I'm a gold medal Olympian.
Yeah, the milestones is something crazy. And it only register when you talk. Like now I'm teaching. I'm head coach of the summer league, and I'm talking to my players all the time, and they are so articulate. They do the research. Damn, coach, I didn't know you know, and they give you all this back. You like, damn, I forgot about that. They're like, bro, like, I was listening to you before, but now I'm over listening to you because you've been through, but I don't try to bring all that up. I just talk in real time in current space. But man, it was a blessing to be on those teams. The competition made me better. And great stories to tell your kids someday.
When you knew it was time to go to the draft, what made you make the decision?
Honestly, my daughter, my mother, like I wanted to retire. I was like, shit, I'm tired of her working at a Syncerator, assembly line stuff. And I was thinking, my daughter came in 2002, so my daughter was roughly 9, 8. Yeah, so I was just like, I got to put myself in position to be the patriarch of my family.
Yeah.
And that's how I was thinking.
How was it when you know what I'm saying, when you declared and you had to, go through the process, get an agent and all that, going through, he don't know this part about like me and
The
you,
workout.
like going through the workouts and stuff like that.
I don't know that.
Cause you only had like 3. You was having
You
steak
already
dinners. He was
top
he was
pick
the
already.
cream of the crop. He was
I had
sitting down.
workouts.
You was only going here, there. Like that was your process.
Tell him again.
Yeah,
I ain't
you
even supposed to go
boom,
to the
boom.
Clippers.
But that's what I'm saying. Like we talking about for the guys like us that had like in the teens. We was in
Yeah.
the teens. We had a wide
I
range.
was
Like
where
you
they said you go anywhere from 5 to 15.
yeah, like so how was that for you? Like how many workouts did you do? Like and we know it'd be that short window. And what was like? How did you feel going through that process?
It was crazy because Raymond Brothers, my agent still to this day,
Yeah.
he was like, this process gonna be brutal. There's gonna be some questions because I got hit in the leg a couple years ago. So I still had like that whole fragment in my leg and I never got it taken out. And he had told me about that process, like when they do medical reports and all that stuff, it's gonna be some issues and things like that. But it was interesting because he wanted me to align with all the players that they had me ahead of or was ahead of me in a lot of people's eyes. So that's what he did. He strategically planned all the workouts. So if Drew Gooden was somewhere, Mike Dunleavy was somewhere, whoever was ahead, he was like, oh, you gotta go to that workout. So I was working back to back. I did like 7 workouts within like a 14-day span.
Yeah.
Flying into the cities. It wasn't a like my gym where I knew the rims
You
and
weren't doing
Nah.
that.
You
Yeah.
just walking in. What?
You weren't
just
doing
at his
that.
gym, all that shit.
I was flying to gyms. and
you did.
my first time in the gym. And
we was roommates. I can attest. You did have a few flights to a few places. He said back to back, and like me, I was packing up from
Boom,
this
boom,
city
boom,
to that
boom,
city, this city, that city. They sending me flights, and that's when we used to have to get the tickets. Remember, like man, we got like you
Pay for
wasn't doing
ticket.
that.
Yeah.
You were going one trip here, then come back. Be
I
working
really.
out,
Who
chilling.
did I go to? I went to Houston.
you
I
know,
went
who
to,
came to you?
I went to Houston.
Who
Orlando,
came to you though?
The Nets.
Oh, okay. A team actually came to you.
The Nets was in Chicago.
Oh,
I worked
okay.
out against Q.
Mm-hmm.
Bust his ass. Bust his ass.
No, he
Worked out
didn't.
against Q.
He got loose on you?
Never.
Killing that boy.
Never.
Busting his ass. They was looking at us like, boy, y'all boy
CB.
look like y'all about to
It's
fight.
my oldest son y'all looking at.
Hey,
I've
man.
been raising them up since forever.
Hey.
Like, come on now.
Killed that boy in the workout.
Got loose.
What? Hey, one-on-one?
Tell me this.
Murder.
First
Murder,
of all,
Caron.
I'm not gonna dignify that. I have video footage of what really goes
shit.
on, But
Man.
whatever. We're not gonna
Okay.
deal with that.
Don't
But
believe
this is what
it.
I want to know. Like, was it because we all had that feeling? Like, did you have any workouts where when you got in there or you left off, you was like, shit, that's all right. They better. I know they gonna
Houston.
Okay.
Houston was mine. too.
Houston
I
was the
wanted to
number
go to
one. They had the
Houston
number
bad.
one pick. And I was like, there's no way they're going to take a kid they never seen before, China, Yao Ming.
Yeah.
And my workout, John Lucas, Rudy T, Steve Francis, Cat, all them was there. And I was going to, that was my best workout I had out of all of them. I left there, I was like, I laid it
yourself.
down. Like, I'm the best. Like, I could play with them dudes right now. They're like, yo, he the one. Like, he the one. This Steve Francis franchise. Like, he the one. Like, make it happen. I left there thinking that it was a done deal. And I almost got a verbal, like, nod that it was done.
Yeah.
And, the Yao Ming thing, that's just something you got to
Generational.
explore. Kind of similar to where we at right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With it's a lot of talented dudes, and then you got this
Big
amazing,
guy
you got an
come
avatar.
on. Yeah.
You got to explore that. You got to see what that.
See what it about.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So that's where I was at.
When you finally hear your name called and you get to walk across that stage and shake, like what was that? Because for all of us, we watched that a million times on TV, and that's like to a certain degree, that's the like we made it moment in a way.
moment.
You know what I'm saying? Like how was that whole experience for you?
So it was crazy because Spike Lee was,
I was at the Garden.
yeah, he was literally right there. Somebody just dropping major flicks that was in all our households that we was moved and inspired by. He's right there. You got the Garden chanting your name
Right.
because it was getting later in that lottery selection, about 7, 8. That's when they started doing it. Charles Barkley Like he's still, this fresh with TNT. He's still on the board. I don't know what people thinking.
Right.
He the best player in the draft. Like, and I'm like, oh man, but I was nervous, and I told Raymond, he's sitting next to me. I was like, man, I gotta go to the bathroom, man. They told me I couldn't get up because the shit was live. I was like, nah, I gotta go to the bathroom. I'm not waiting, and I feel like I'm here to be one of those dudes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm here to be one of those dudes that go late in this first round or probably second round, and everybody be like, what happened and how you feel type shit. And I wasn't feeling that. And I went in the back. I got had to compose myself, get myself together. And I said, Raymond, if you brought me here, this is real talk. You can ask him. I said, if you brought me here and embarrassed me on national television, I'm going to fuck you up.
Straight up.
I had to tell him that just so he knew. He was like, no, brother, listen, we about to pray.
Yeah.
We about to pray. This is about to happen. Just relax. You're too tense. And while we was in the middle of our prayer, his phone, little flip phone, is vibrating. He finished, flipped it, and he's like, yo, you going to Miami? And I'm like, they still at like 8 or whatever. And we walk back to the table, we sit down, I'm looking at him like, better go to Miami. I'm gonna be acting crazy. And it happened. And every emotion that I ever felt, when you talk about winning at the highest level, when you talk about sacrifices, sweat equity, everything, it was just like, just let it all out, man.
People don't understand that being in that position, like, man, it's a lot going on. You got your family here. This supposed to be the biggest, best night ever. And because you watching people who you in your heart and you feel and you know that you better than go in front of you, it's slowly turning into like, this is some bullshit I'm about to have to do. Like you said, when all those emotions, because you sitting there and you trying to contain everything and keep it together for moms, keep it together
on
for
national television.
Oh, boy.
On national
You
television.
in there.
I had to act accordingly. But I thank God that Raymond was there, that he let me vent, that he listened to me. I thank God that my mom's was like, look, baby, it's gonna be all right. Just us being here is a blessing. That was her mentality. Like, look, you got your whole family here, everybody proud of you. I was like, nah, mama, I'm better than all these. I'm like,
yeah.
She's like, you good, and stay present. Yeah. And when it happened, it changed our family's life forever. So it was just like one of those things. I was blessed.
How was it walking in there and you finna go and holler at Pat Riley?
Yeah, I was nervous.
You finna see the Godfather.
The Godfather. He was so smooth, man. He, had his slick back, walking up, and first class. They sent the plane for the family. We flew down, stayed at the Mandarin.
Yeah,
nice. First class, everything, big limo, all that, and I get there, Randy Fun and Andy Ellensberg, everybody there. The Arison family, took a chance on a kid that changed my life forever. So I'm always forever grateful to them. They hear it all constantly, but just want to commend them for doing that. But I was nervous at first. Stan Van Gundy, this first time I'm meeting him. He's a player development guy and assistant coach and doing all the stuff that he's doing. But once I got welcome in that energy, I just felt like that was home. From the second I got there, I was like, this home. It just feel right.
A lot of people don't know this, but back then in them days, like, you get drafted, after you go to your team, no matter what team you go to, he happened to be coming to that team, so he was a shoe-in anyway. But if you blessed enough, you get drafted to that Zoe Summer Groove. Talk to him. Talk to him and let him know about what a time to be alive. People do not know how Big Dog Alonzo Mourning had the dopest charity event for I don't even know how many years running, but like it was an all-star weekend in the middle of the summer in Miami.
What is equivalent to that now? The thing that Drake used to do is similar, right?
The OVO Fest?
Yeah, some where he had games or concerts.
Nobody has had the same level of like.
This ain't a concert.
So he didn't have basketball.
Drake don't have basketball games? He did at some point, but like it would be like rappers and entertainers, and then like you know what I'm saying, like. Zoe consistently had like
Magic
at least
Johnson
half of the All-Star team.
Was the next big thing.
So Magic thing was nice, but it wasn't like so. Zoe's was a presentation because he checked every box.
Art,
like every day it was art, it was entertainment,
jazz,
it was comedy shows. You got
Usher.
I don't even know how he was
And then it was actually like at that
Monopolizing
point,
like
like
that.
nobody was like everything was first class, the flights,
First
everything.
class, everything.
The
Shut down the
hotels.
whole
The
city.
staff was so good, man. The staff was nice, man. They treated
What?
us nice.
First class, everything.
Yeah.
So tell me, how was it for you to go from that, then to go to summer league, and just like you said, get into that heat culture, and can you say that for a fact, like, you know what I'm saying, you got that foundation to know how to work and do all of those things and be a true pro, and you was looking at other places like, oh, this how y'all do
They
it?
loose.
Like this how
They
y'all
loose.
do it?
Say they low.
Yeah, I was like, these dudes loose. Because think about this. It's certain things that you inherit when you come to the culture. Professionalism criteria is number one, but it's also, the fact that you empty yourself, that this job, this business that we do, this is the number one priority. This first thing is the only thing. Like, that's the mentality. And when I got there, I looked at all the other guys that was, drafted before me and after me. First thing they did, they got their advance. They was able to float, do their thing in the summer. But in Miami, it's like, okay, weight, body fat, these are call to actions. This is what we doing. Oh, yeah, by the way, you can go home and say hi to everybody, but you got to be back. We're going to give you 4 to 5 days to live in that space, but you got to be back here this day. This is when we start to get you right for Summer League. And it was just, I was ingrained in the system. I was plug, play, ready to do my thing.
Yeah.
And that's how we operated. So you had to learn schemes, you had to learn the tendencies, you had to learn the dialogue, the terminology, all on the fly. And it was the best thing ever for me, because if I didn't go there, the habits that, we're first generational riches, eventually wealth, but the habits that instill with you at that point when you first get these blessings, you need that structure. If you don't have that structure, especially coming from how we, it's a recipe for disaster if you don't have that structure.
Yeah. We didn't have no structure with the Clippers. Like,
we
police your own over there.
Listen, I'm telling you, tell me this, how was it for you to come right in and, like, we had many battles. We same position, everything. You came straight in the gate, rookie, you know what I'm saying? Boom.
Yeah.
Presence known, like, you know what I'm saying, hooping, letting like everybody taking notice because you should have been drafted higher, and that was heavily talked about. Like, how was all of those things going for you?
And I think, and I say this now, sitting in that seat in Summer League head coach, it's like your success is really if someone really believes in you and wants you to be successful. Mm-hmm. And the belief that the Godfather put in me right out the gate, it's like, I'm gonna put the ball in your hand. You're young, but I trust you. Go be great. Go explore, make mistakes, but I'm gonna let you do your thing. And also having Eddie Jones and Zoe and Brian Grant being like, okay, this dude young, but we're gonna nurture him.
Yeah.
Right? And let him build his confidence and teach him in the process. And that's all I needed. I didn't need to constantly get schooled and stuff like that. I just needed the freedom to make mistakes, knowing that, I had a long leash rather than a short leash. And Pat Riley gave me that.
You got legends. You got Zoe. You got B. Grant. You got Eddie Jones that also was like, go ahead, young fella. We see it too. Like, did that ever, you think about that? Like, damn, that's crazy.
Man, all dudes I grew up watching and idolizing, and on my way home, I was like, damn, this feel like a dream. Like that is happening like that.
Yeah.
And still to this day, Godfather hit me right after the Sacramento game. I won my first Summer League game, first game as a head coach. And, he shot me a long, lengthy text just telling me how proud he was of me and the way I executed and got the guys ready. And I was just sitting there still to this day. I'm like, damn, like we sitting here, we chopping it up, and all this shit is it's a vision, it's a dream. You want it to happen, but it's surreal still.
Yeah.
But you keep taking steps forward in it.
Yeah.
But it's surreal.
Y'all draft D Wade and y'all get Lamar Odom in a sign and trade. Was it a sign and trade?
Yeah.
It was a sign and trade. That year, specifically, y'all was a young, little rowdy team. Like, just explain that year when it was you, LO, and D Wade, and just playing with them.
Yeah, people don't recall how that year started out.
That's what I was about to say with the resignation. Tell me, because like we
Riley
had Stan on here,
down.
and he told us how, It was literally out of blue. He was like, everything's going fine. Then he was like, y'all was about to go have either a walkthrough or a practice, and Pat called him in there and said, "Yeah, you ready?" He was standing like, "Yeah, we ready." Like as far he thinking he talking about tonight. He's like, "No, you about to do this. I'm out of here." And Stan's like, like tell me how that was. Like we got Stan's perspective from like how how was that when the word came down to y'all as players?
The one thing you know about our culture is we're on time, on target, first time, every time, and that day was a little off. It was a little off, and the Godfather telling us a story about Kareem and how he knew that it was his time to step away from the game,
right? And
how his father rode with him, I think on the bus or whatever the case may be, and he had a hell of a performance, but he knew that it was time to close that chapter in his life, his basketball life. It was kind of similar to that where he said, I'm walking away from this. And he trusts Stan to be at the helm and lead us going forward. And we was all shocked. To me personally, immediately, I was like, damn, is this something like, was we like not good enough or something we wasn't doing right? That just like, yo, I ain't got time for this. But it was just, he said, when you know, it was just time. And nothing to do with the players, the personnel, anything. Because we felt like we was talented. So that's what we started off the season with, and we started off playing so bad, 0-7, in every game, show flashes, but just couldn't piece it together, put it together, and then all of a sudden we hit our stride, and I think we won like 20 out of 32 games or something crazy. And end up making the playoffs as a young squad, and D-Wade coming to his own where
Baron Davis bump shot.
Put him in the pick and roll and he became Flash. You know what I'm saying? Like we was running a lot of wheel actions, like the Iverson stuff and the Eddie Jones pin downs. And like, you know what? Like put him in the pick and roll because can't nobody guard him. This before people doing blitz coverage and all that stuff. So like, yo, put him in it. He's splitting everything, living in the paint.
Yeah.
And that's when he became Flash and the team excelled. And the rest was history.
So having a year like that and seeing promise and hope, and then the next year it's changing. Just like that.
Quick.
How was that for you?
Man, that was one of the saddest days of my life, getting traded. Yeah. That's when I got introduced to the business of basketball.
Yes, sir.
I was coming back from Antigua, a trip for the Heat. And I'm walking through the airports, TVs everywhere, and they're talking about the trades and stuff happening. And like Shaq coming to Miami, I was like, "Yo, we about to run through the league." Me, Shaq, Lamar, B. Grant, Eddie.
You ain't put a counter. Nobody got to leave.
I'm like, so me. I'm just going through it.
Just adding him ain't subtracting nothing.
I'm like, yo, we about to. Oh man, I was like, the league in trouble. All of a sudden, it was like. I think you and Lamar might be in the deal. Man, I was like, damn.
Deflation.
And me and D-Wade neighbors, so he come by the crib. He's like, man, I don't even want to play back. Like, I don't want to do this no more. You ain't here. You my brother. Like, we so tight. Like, damn. And then it was confirmed. And I asked Riles, I was like, man, I just bought the house, man. I just bought my house. And he's like, it's a great investment. Like that's part of the business, a great investment. And I was just like, oh, snap. And then I had to process it. But I will tell you this, the Godfather, he wrote me letters when I got traded. He kept coaching me. He kept moving the needle in my process because it was something he saw in me that he was connected to, and he just kept moving the needle in my process. So when I get the envelope and I get the little blue papers with the letter on it, I was just like, oh, man, he's still pouring into me.
Yeah, he's thinking about you.
Yeah, it's dope.
Tell me how was it when you after you get through processing that, you gotta head to LA and you going to go play with Kobe.
That was crazy.
What is that like when the first day you meet him or the first day he texts you after the trade? Like, what was your first communication when you was coming to the team with Kobe?
It was like a paired press conference. So, I don't know, Kobe signed a $136 million contract, something crazy like that, like one of the biggest of our time at the time. And we at the press conference. We doing our conference for the trade, in his for the signing, and immediately, this is the first time I seen Kobe. He reached out. I didn't know it was him. Like crazy. I'm feeling all weird. Like, damn, I missed his call and all this shit. I'm like thinking all that. First thing he said, he was like, "Yo, you ready to fucking black out?" Just looking at me, and I'm like, "Yeah, like what the fuck is a black? Like what that mean?" He's like, "Yo, we about to fucking black out. We about to take this shit. Like we taking this to another level." And I was just like, "All right, so be here tomorrow, like 5:36, all this shit. Give me times." And I'm like, "All right, whatever you need, bro."
5:36 in the morning.
Yeah, we blacking out. This was fresh off him signing.
And this the first year where it's like, because they got rid of Shaq, this is now it's my shit.
Yeah, this all my show.
They just, like, Dr. Buzz just took the faith in me and said,
like,
it's your franchise.
Your key, you take us there.
Yeah.
And I will say this, all the stuff that I was learning in Miami about professionalism, competing, the highest level, 10X, communication, I seen it in real time with Kobe.
Okay. He was all
with an
that.
actual play. He was all that. When you talk about the work ethic, the shots, the preparation, the film, coming back, same thing.
Time.
Discipline,
Yeah.
the time equity into it. I was like, damn, this dude is relentless. But I was like, I'm gonna do everything like you do.
I'm gonna chase you.
I'm chasing you, and I ain't gonna take the gas off. Like I'm
straight up.
I'm chasing you everywhere, and I was his shadow for that whole year.
You come into an organization like Miami, then you run into a leader like Kobe.
It was a blessing, man. It was a blessing. Till this day, I always tell folks just the impact that he had on my life from a basketball standpoint, changed it. But then also from an information to life, because so many parallels in sports to life.
Yeah.
He had me thinking differently about what I wanted my legacy to be, start compartmentalizing how I'm going to pivot into business and things like that, and how I'm an architect like the rest of my future. Like he was mapping out things, and I couldn't even think at that level. I was just like,
ahead or none of that.
we got the Knicks tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right.
Like Clippers tomorrow. Like I'm thinking like that. He was thinking like
Way ahead.
all the way then. You know what I mean? And he changed my life forever in that capacity.
Yeah, like you just speak on that. Like you one of the few people who had a good relationship. Well, I don't say a good relationship, but just had a relationship with Kobe that he trusted in to have something with you that was more than a teammate. You know, it was more off the court, family-wise and all that stuff. You had a chance to see him in a different light than the world might have seen him.
And all of that.
And speak on that, just the type of person and the thinker and the creator, the artist, how much he was everything. He was so much more than what we actually think he is.
I would say this, when the news hit and the tragedy happened, everybody saw it from a different perspective. You know, obviously the empathy poured out, and, you know, because he was so great, because he was the ultimate competitor, he always got dehumanized, like when you visualized him, because he was just so great. He was so dominant. Mm-hmm. But then all of a sudden, for the first time ever, you saw people have empathy in the situation and see Kobe as just Kobe, a father, a husband, a brother, a son, a friend, a mentor, all those things. And that's how I always saw him. That's how our relationship was. We talked about family, we talked about our girls, we talked about trips, we talked about things that we see as therapy, you know, before, you know, mental health and all those things was an issue. Business deals, anything. We always talked about it. I asked him about his vision and what direction he was going in. He always made time for me when even I know he didn't have it. Mm-hmm. He made time for me, and that's why he always will be a brother. And Vanessa and the girls, you know, I love them authentically and purely, and I reach out to her all the time, just making sure that they straight. If they ever need anything, I'm always there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he was just, he was everything, bro.
Tell me this, how was it when you get traded and you go to the Wizards. Or did you sign with the Wizards?
Well, it was a sign trade.
Sign trade, but that's kind of like you just made that choice to go get that bag.
Well, they had that situation with the Lakers where they wanted to give me 30. I think it was 30 million, and Luke Walton, it was like kind of putting me. They was trying to package us so Luke can get it and I can get it.
Right.
Or he was looking at like the cap space other places and was like, damn, the Wizards got 50. I can go over there and just, you know what I mean, get that, and it's a great city. And plus, Larry Hughes was just leaving, and so that whole third person to kind of carry that weight, another 20-point score, it was perfect fit.
Jamison.
Yeah, so that's it. Just worked out perfectly.
Obviously, like you say, y'all hit it off right away. You fit right in. Like, talk about that fit with Twan and Gil over there.
Gilbert was amazing. I didn't realize how
Good he was.
like offensively gifted he was. Like
He's a prop.
Yeah, people don't realize, and you know, you see all these other guards, and you know, now I'm in this seat. You know, don't want to go too deep in names, especially with all the stuff we got going on. But it's like he had everything.
Yeah.
He had everything. Shooting the ball, turning around, game winners, like
throwing his hand up.
He was blogging before this stuff was even a thing.
MySpace killing
him. Yeah, like he's doing everything. And, you know, Twan, this silent assassin.
Oh my God.
1,000, 2 1,000.
He was one of them too.
Unorthodox game, but was a fucking bucket.
Never, no hold guy. Get the ball.
Yeah, it's move. He passing the shoot. It's moving. He get the rebound. He right back up. He don't jump.
I can't tell you how many times in the game somebody said, "Do he work on that shit?" you know, where he's
some man shit. Yeah. Like Madison just made it like,
do he even work on that shit? Like, how you even do that?
Yeah,
like, he was different.
That's the perfect.
But making your first All-Star team.
Yeah.
Where was you at when you heard that you made the All-Star team?
Toronto. We had a game, and we all was in the airport.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow, I don't know what the hell happened, but we was in the airport, got a call, and then everybody like sat down. I guess they knew already. I sat down, I'm chilling. They was like, "Yo, somebody want to talk to you." I think one of our trainers or something came. It's like, "Yeah, I want to tell you, man." I'm like, "We good?" Like everybody getting serious and shit, like everything. Like I'm thinking my mother, my brothers,
right.
something like, what's going on? My mind racing. Like, yo, you got selected to the All-Star. I was like,
what that like?
I was blacked out. Like, oh shit. Like, I hear Cole. Like, yo, he's like, yo, man, come on, man. That's what the fuck we do, man. Like, you tapped in and you blacked out. And that's what happens, man. You know, Gilbert and like they wanted me to be so successful.
Yeah.
Antawn, like I say this purely like those dudes were so unselfish as stars.
Gilbert and Antawn.
Oh yeah, 100%. They
say,
wanted
say
it
that
for
again, because a lot of people, because Gilbert is how Gilbert is, and they think he's just such a selfish person. But man, Gilbert is one of the best dudes.
I'm gonna tell you about Gilbert.
Man.
Gilbert is, you know,
Gilbert is
funny.
Gilbert.
When God made him, he threw away the mold. Gilbert is Gilbert. But when you talk about unselfishness, when you talk about, you know, what like wanting your teammates to have success,
real talk,
and want somebody to rock with, like he wanted that for me.
Yeah,
like, damn, like dude, All-Star Twine, like damn, my boy, like yeah, let's go. Like he wanted me to have that moment.
Crazy,
and I was like, damn, that's dope.
So how was it just being the Wizards and having to battle against, because you the guy that have to guard LeBron, in that era, like
let me tell you.
Talk about that era with y'all having no wars with the rap songs with D Steve. And
it was too much. It was too much shit going on, man. I would say that right out the gate. I was in the club, one of our playoff series, and somebody had literally brought. They had CDs.
Brought the CD
in the club in the middle of our playoff series. Now this is at a time where we still go out, kick it, and play in the game still. So I guess we had a game in between or something. I'm at Love Nightclub, Taz promotion. Taz, a Cleveland dude, Ohio. He got the whole Cavs squad in there, LeBron in there. And this is right when D. Steve said, hey, he overrated. Whatever. So they bring the diss in, and I'm chilling. They like, hold on, new Jay-Z. new Jay-Z,
It's
fresh.
that era when he used to go down like that.
So I'm like, cut the music. They rock in the building, all this shit, dude. They put this diss on, blow your whistle, the diss song, and I'm listening, and I'm like, oh shit, he talking about my dog. I said, man, you motherfuckers, I like y'all cut that shit off in this our motherfucking city. Y'all cut that shit off. I said, man, I'll never spend money with you motherfuckers again. Like just like I was like, I lost it. I was hot. I said a lot of other stuff too. And I left. I ain't paid the bill that day. I was out. Like
So
left
Jay-Z
the table with everything.
And they
Had a
came and
diss
set
record.
it up while y'all in there and they in there. They put that shit
Yeah,
on.
did us wrong, man. In our hometown, we spent a lot of money. And after that, D. Steve I think he had Soulja Boy, Jim Jones, had Suge Knight pull up at the game. It was a lot of moving pieces. What
What we doing here,
I was
man?
like, yo,
what's going on?
we got a game. Like, we have a game. But it was a lot of moving pieces. Yeah, it was a lot, bro. But LeBron was a problem. I'm going to tell you, blitz, zone, shows, he dissected every coverage.
He knew everything.
Everything. He could see over the coverages. He killed everything we threw at him.
Everything he threw.
Everything we threw at him, we killed. Respectfully, he killed it.
Talk about when you got to Dallas, bro. Like
Yeah.
you already know what that's all about. You a vet now. You done been a few different places. You done been here, there. But now you in Dallas.
The
and
best
you already,
owner in the game.
Yeah, you know
Cube.
about Cube.
Cube.
You know about Big Dirk. Y'all got Tricks there. Y'all got
Tricks
Big
was turned
Haywood.
up.
Tricks, they turned up.
Yeah, man. I was just with Tricks yesterday at our board meeting. Tricks funny as hell, man. My biggest thing was my time ran out in D.C. My love for D.C. will always be there. Like, that's my second home. But my time there ran out from a basketball standpoint, and I was exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
And I needed a change of scenery with so many things that happened there and change of ownership. It was a fire sale. And I was just thinking, like, damn, like, I hope I land in the right spot. And Raymond had told me that Dallas, you go to Dallas, man, you don't win a championship with this team. And the trade ended up happening. And I also played with my longest tenure teammate. We got traded together, Brendan Haywood.
Yeah.
So we go there.
Big Brendan.
B Wood, we go there. And immediately Dirk he had that Kobe vibe to him, not with the communication and talking, but just the work ethic.
What he was on.
He was on business.
Yeah.
He already got hurt where he lost in the finals. He felt that energy, and he was just on a mission to accomplish that.
You got hurt down the stretch of that thing.
January 1st.
But how was that to still, you know what I'm saying, like you were still a veteran,
See the
you know what I'm
turn
saying,
he went
presence on the
Yeah.
team. And I can remember, like, you know what I'm saying, the team, even when y'all won it, them giving you the trophy because they wanted you to feel that too.
First.
Like, so how was that to see Dirk just turn from what people thought he was to who he knew he was?
Man, he tapped in. He emptied himself. I'll never forget the injury that I suffered. I had a patella rupture, blew out my knee January 1st, 2011, after our New Year's party in Milwaukee. And, being the third leading scorer at the time, we was like the number one seed, playing our best basketball. And when the injury happened, we go in the back. Dirk, one of the first ones, came back there like, "You good?" I was like, "Bro, I ain't never felt this one."
Right.
I was like, "This is different." How long I was like, I don't even think I'm gonna play basketball again.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's how I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And Cube, like, "Hey, you good. You ain't going nowhere. Don't worry about nothing." And that was just confirmation to me. Like, all right, I gave everything to the squad. I'm still going to be here. But also it was confirmation that I knew I was going to be a coach or teaching in some capacity at some point, because during that whole run, I saw myself in a different light and how I can add value to that team. And what I saw up close and personal from Dirk was just something you don't get a chance to see too often, and probably one of the best title runs in NBA history, where you saw the team collectively rally around a asset that was removed, bring some more assets on. Peja, he signed on with us late. Corey Brewer signed on with us late. Roddy Bouwa was still working his tail off and doing all the necessary things. J.J. Barea wasn't in rotation like that, wasn't probably on the best of terms at the time with.
He was key piece.
But then he was the ultimate key piece because
Yeah.
you put him in the pick and roll and he was unguardable. Jason Terry took his leadership and his production to another level. Tricks, B. Cardinal, the custodian, you know what I mean? J. Kidd, the reclining legend. You know what I mean? Everybody tapped in, B. Wood, like Tyson Chandler. It was just, everybody just amplified. They said, bro, you will play again. You will play again. Like, we're going to do this for you. And they rallied around that narrative. And it was just amazing to watch. It really was. It really was.
When you got that title and you got that championship, how was it to hold that trophy and, everybody get their day with it? What did you do with it when you got your day?
Man, I was sitting out, we all had our day at where we go, live that night?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cube has detailed it.
Yeah.
He has detailed it in fascinating
He
fashion.
said his card declined.
At first. Did you know that?
I didn't know the card declined.
He say Dirk, they had the big, huge bottle. And he went to Dirk, he say, Dirk, should I get the bottle? Dirk like, fuck yeah, get the fucking bottle. So he say,
like 100,000.
he give him his bottle card like 100-something thousand. So he say, he get a black card to the dude, they go in the back. He say, after so long, they all, everybody's partying. Dirk come to him like, oh, what the fuck is the bottle? And he like, I don't know, what is the bottle? So he say, they come tell him, hey, we need a bottle. He say, it's 3 in the morning, 2 in the morning, whatever. They all going crazy, everybody party. He's in the back office, he's low. He's like, I'm blasting, tell him it's my card. It's not fraud. Look on TV, we're celebrating the championship, and look right now. And long story short, they got it together.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
It was so crazy in there that night. Lil Wayne, everybody in there, and I do remember when they brought the bottle up.
Yeah.
It was like 5 people carrying it. No, for real, like a casket. They had the bottle, and it was, life-size bottle. They carried it. It was crazy.
Cube says he actually bought that bottle. He has it in his office.
He still got it?
Not that one. He bought another one just to have in his
I was about to say, 'cause I was like, I don't know how they got that on the plane. Yeah, but that was wild. That was one of the best experiences. And then when we got back to Dallas, just all the people that was out there, it was crazy.
Tell me, do you feel like your last couple stints, because I was there with you, we was in Detroit together, and I felt like that was like a beginning of, like you say in Dallas, you kind of started to see it, but I feel like easily in Detroit, Sacramento, those last couple stops, it was really okay, you saw yourself as the OG and you was really teaching and guiding and mentoring. Do you think those led ultimately to you down this path to say, this is what I want to do?
Yeah, 100%. And I also, and I'm glad you brought this up because I thought about you when I took the job, right? 4 years ago, I thought about you when I took the job. And I remember you was fresh out.
Mm-hmm.
Bad motherfucker, hell of a player. And I thought about the messaging. When you talk, you got their undivided attention in the locker room because you've been through those wars. People respect you. And I was like, damn, Q Rich and Malik had me in Detroit.
Word.
But I didn't even process that. But I was like, I started thinking about, I was checking everybody. I was like, yeah, how you go transition into coaching? That's different. And I was like, oh yeah, damn. And then Tim Hardaway was there too. And I was thinking about all the dynamics, and I was like, I know if y'all had came in there, and our offline conversations we was having.
Right.
So if y'all ever came in there and said, CB, run through that brick, I'm telling you, this run, it's gonna happen. I'm gonna do it because I trust your evaluation.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, damn, I can really move the needle in this coaching seat. I can do that for these up and comers, and I can give them truth to power, speak the real shit, speak their verbiage, and move their needle in their process. And that really done it for me. It really did. That really done it for me. But yeah, dog, I had to tell you that, man. Give you your flowers, because you was therapeutic for me. It was therapy. Talking to you, because I was going through that process, but still knowing that my ability, I aged. I can do it in Windows, but I couldn't do none of what I used to. But, that transition process, you being there, Malik, y'all was helpful, man. That was real helpful.
What made you make the decision of going back to the Heat and wanting to be a coach and be on that staff and be back in the organization?
There's only 2 organizations that get it right, that do it right. And, you know, obviously, you know, no shade to nobody else, but when you look at the disciples that's laying around the canvas of the NBA, that's great coaches. You think about the Spurs and you think about the Miami Heat. And when I had the opportunity to do that, I was on television. I was talking. I'm with the Lakers talking about the finals.
Yeah, I remember.
And I'm working with Spectrum, me and James Worthy, talking about the pick and roll situations and the dynamic of getting downhill and having more real estate. And I guess they saw that. Like, damn, we like the way you chopping it up about the game and giving the solutions. And Spo was like, hey, I want you on the staff. He wanted him too. It was him, me, Jim Jackson, and somebody else. And he's like, hey, you open to that? We're like, shit, like what that look like? I don't even know. Can I still do my business stuff? Can I be mobile?
Yeah.
Like, what does that look like?
What's the commitment to that?
And he broke it down. I said, oh, that add up. That looked right. And I pivoted, and I'm grateful that I did that. It was the best decision I made.
Well on his way to being a head coach soon.
Salute.
You know what I'm saying? Before we get you out of here, though, I want to talk to you about a lot of the, you know, man, you got, like you talked about, entrepreneurship, you know what I'm saying? You own hotels, you own
100%.
Burger King, my man got coffee shop, Starbucks, my man got, you done wrote books, like tell me,
Long
like,
way from Racine,
like, you know what I'm
man.
saying? Like, tell me, bro, like, how did you know what I'm saying? Like, you've done a whole lot, like, of all of those things, like, and a lot of people done got jersey retired, this, that, and third. Like, tell me, how do it feel to have a street in your hometown, like where you started and had all these things where you was getting in trouble?
Folks was looking at you like a
You got a
troublemaker,
street,
now
bro.
they naming the street
They
out
don't.
you.
That's deep.
You know what I'm saying? That's big. That's
deep.
major at the crib.
That's
Like,
deep.
what does that rank for you? Like, in like, because that's not something that we aim for a lot of goals. I want to make the NBA. I want to make all stuff like that. Don't even come in the realm or the scope of a thought.
Yeah.
Like, how
You
did that
just do
feel
it.
when you get bestowed that because you've done so much good and poured into it? Like, how did that make you feel?
Man, I still cry about it sometimes because, you know, when you go on Google Maps and my kids rolling down the street, like, yo, I got to pull up Caron Butler Drive and
Straight up.
just have that moment. But also, like, when I talk about all the stuff we were chopping it up about, I think about dudes that I lost on that block, the adversity I went through, and, you know, to be bestowed with that honor, it's like, damn, like that's deep, like
means
that's heartfelt.
something to you,
Yeah, because, you know, from a business standpoint, you expect to do that because it's the grind in us. You know, you give us a lot, we can flip it and turn it to more because our observation and our experiences in life, like we just natural hustlers and we're gonna multiply if you built like that and wired like that, and we are. Look at this, like look what y'all created out of this, man. So salute to y'all too, but that's one of those things for me that's right there at the top.
Yeah.
Birth for my kids, stuff like that, like that's right under there,
It
right there up
means
the top
something.
though. Yeah, 100%.
You had a lot of teammates.
Yes,
You
sir.
had a lot of teammates. You played for a lot of teams. If you had to pick 4 teammates that you done played with in your NBA career to have a 5 to play with, who would be them other 4 teammates?
And let me just say, I feel like his is going to be one that's going to advance far in the brackets. We're going to
Yeah,
put everybody in
he
the
got some
bracket.
teammates.
What? Boy, I done thought about it a little bit. What I said it earlier. Go ahead.
KD, Dirk, Chris Paul, Kobe.
That's, boy,
That's your 4?
all top 75. That's his teammate. Look how he looking. Did
So
you just see that?
you all right, hold on. Chris Paul at the point,
Kobe at the 2.
Kobe at the 2, you at the 3, KD at the 4, Dirk at the 5.
You
All
got to
top
come
75.
out. You got space
That's crazy.
space and
5.
pace.
All top 75.
That's a crazy 5.
This is the other question I like to ask, man. We all come from humble beginnings, like not what you. We know we all took care of, you know, our parents and all that. I want to know what CB Tough Juice did
Tough
when
Juice.
you got that little change in your pocket where you felt like, okay, I could do something to you know, to show myself some appreciation. What did you do?
Get
Was
that
it?
bag. Got that bag.
Trust me, time out. Like, let me just put a disclaimer. He missed the nice watch now. Like, you know, I don't know nothing but I learned some shit from him about watches and different situations. So like, I need to hear something because the man that did, you did some nice things. You like, just tell us what, like one of them first early things that you probably look at it. It could have been stupid and now we grown, but like
Yeah.
we good. We recovered. We good.
I'm gonna tell you, when I first heard my name announced in the draft, after I got over the emotional shit, got to deal with my family, I immediately pivoted and said, "Hey, could Jacob open the store?
Oh, he went. Oh, he went.
Because I need the
You
Jacob
one right
at
now.
that night. What you talking about? The same
I
night?
need the Jacob watch
That
like,
same night.
right now. I need it." and I went out there, probably paid double for it that day. But I had to get the watch. Because I said, I can't go nowhere. I just got drafted. I'm a lottery pick, and I don't have the watch.
Yeah.
And they was the Jacob watch.
If you didn't have the colorful bezel,
different times.
you ain't doing that. So I had to go get the watch. And I don't
hard.
even know where the damn watch at. I don't even know what happened to it. It got lost in transit.
You know,
It's a mystery.
lost so much jewelry.
Yeah, man. Somebody came
That
up
thing
with
probably got kicked down to one of the nephews or homies or anybody.
Yeah.
Boy, real talk.
Before we go, man, I just want to tell you, man, I appreciate the wars back in the day, man.
You made me better, King.
We went against each other, man, and
Facts.
this 20-some years later, you know what I'm saying, 25 years later, now we here, and glad to see you made it. You know, one of the guys that I just remember going against and so forth on. I'm glad we here.
And we be proud, bro. We watch talking,
man.
like, you know what I'm saying, that run y'all just was on. Like, every time we do the tap-ins talking, we make sure, because, like, you know, I got love for Quinny,
Facts.
League, all y'all boys over there, like, Coach O. Like, Coach O was my man.
Dog.
That was my, like, every morning. Like, dog, when I lost all that weight that one year, that was me and Coach O every morning. I was with Coach O every morning.
You were real.
Yeah.
Crazy. And he, like, you know, Coach O, real dude, but, like, shout out Coach O, but, like, that whole staff, like, that's how Carter, AC, like, that's how I love the way that he do things. It's all in-house. It's all former players. So it's like, it's all love. Man, like, we so proud of you. We see y'all over there doing it. We know where you headed, you know.
Thank you for having me right, man. Appreciate it.
So, you know, this been another live on location.
Real family.
You know what I'm saying? with CB, Caron Butler. This a Midwest swing, y'all. You feel me? Y'all wouldn't understand it.